I want to show you a tool I built that can save you from lighting your ad budget on fire because we just landed our first sponsorship deal. And it was one of those moments where you're excited, but you also realize, wait, how do I know this is going to work? Am I going to make money or will I lose money? Because when you sponsor a YouTube channel, you're basically making an investment, usually several $1,000s at least. So you want some way to look at the numbers and say, okay, yeah, this is probably a good deal, or that's a pass. So today I'm going to walk you through a tool I built that helps you to evaluate any YouTube channel for sponsorships using basic inputs you probably already have. And then I'm giving it to you for free. If you're already a pro ad buyer, you probably don't need this. You probably have something more advanced already. But if you're just dipping your toes in, this can help you see whether that eye-watering amount that a rep just quoted you could actually be worth it. Now, quick disclaimer, as part of our first sponsorship deal, we agreed not to make any public statements about who the partner is. And that's actually pretty common. Brands and creators don't want third parties overstating partnerships or turning it into some weird clout thing. So we're not using the real creator from the deal. Instead, just for fun, we're using Mr. Ballen as a purely public, hypothetical example so you can see how the tool works. And to make the example a little more fun, I'll finish the introduction the way Mr. Ballen probably would. If you're a fan of indie publishing, book sales, and behind-the-scenes chaos delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please sneak into the Like Button's house, find their book collection, and move all of their bookmarks to later points in each book. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Here's what I ran into when I tried to evaluate YouTube sponsorships. I searched for tools, and what I found fell into three categories. Category 1, super simplistic tools. The kind that basically say, estimate views, multiply by some CPM, good luck. Cool, that tells me what I'm paying for views, but it doesn't tell me whether I'll make money. Category 2, tools that are overwhelmingly complex, like full-on dashboard with 47 tabs, attribution models, and you're like, I just want to know if this sponsorship makes sense, not launch a NASA mission. Category 3, paid tools, sometimes paid and complex. And I don't blame them, people build software they need to charge. But I'm sitting here like, I don't want to subscribe to something just to test a handful of channels. So I did what any slightly stubborn person does. I built my own. So this is a sponsorship evaluator in Google Sheets. You click the link, make your own copy, and then you can edit it however you want. And the whole point is simple. First, we calculate your real profit per order. For this, you'll need some order history to pull data from, an idea what the average customer purchases on your store, how much they spend, how much you keep in your pocket. Then we plug in basic YouTube channel data. So beginning with this sponsorships tool, so you want to fill in data that's in the yellow cells. The rest will populate itself. So from these yellow cells here, 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 and in the orders tab. Fill in your order data to calculate revenue and profit per sale. So let's say we have something that costs the customer $50, and I put in an order number field here just so you can keep track, like as you're entering in more orders and as orders come in, so you can continue refining your data, $53, whatever. So put in your tax, shipping, cost, and then profit will calculate by itself. Because the profit is just a formula which just subtracts your tax, shipping, and cost from the customer total, leaving this remaining. So I can just drag this down like I would with any Google Sheets, and it will pull from these cells off to the right. It would be tempting to like continue dragging this down so that you can just continue entering your data. But the problem is that Google Sheets will count all of these as zeros, which is dragging down your average profit artificially. So I clear that, make sure you only have this filled in for however many rows of data you're actually going to use. So it's going to calculate your average revenue and average profit, which it will then reference in these other tabs. So in our example here, we're going to look at Mr. Ballen's channel. And all we're going to fill in is his view count, and then we're going to make up a number for a sponsorship fee. And you'll see that the rest of this will all just fill itself in and give us some kind of benchmarks that we can shoot for. So let's look at Mr. Ballen's latest videos. Well, this has 9.9 thousand views, but it was only uploaded 20 minutes ago, so that's very low for one of his. So we're going to start with videos that are at least 7 days old. So we're going to start by entering this one in, so 871,000. So we're going to go through this and enter in all of his numbers for his probably 6 months or so of videos until I see 7 months ago. Okay, so there we go. We have all those numbers entered in. This channel gets an average of 1.6 million views per video over the last 6 months or so. So we're just going to make up a number here. Let's say 50,000. This is completely fabricated. I'm just randomly pulling this number. But if this was what we were quoted by a rep to do a 60-second spot, then you can see, you saw all these numbers turn red down here. So it means we would need 2,113 sales to break even, or a 0.13% conversion rate, which falls right in between here. So it's definitely on the higher side of possible results. It also means you would have to make sure you have 2,113 of whatever it is that you're selling in inventory so that you can be sure you can actually fulfill all those orders and not have 2,113 angry customers. So at this point, we might try to push back and talk them down and say, well, what about 45? Well, see, now these numbers look a little more doable. This would still have to be a pretty good performing ad. You would have to make sure that the fit is really strong, but it's possible. Still, this would be on the pretty high side of ad performance. So the reality is that most of the time, most content creators, the amount that they would charge would require you to perform somewhere in here to actually scoop out a profit. And most ads will really perform right about here. This would still be a very high risk ad purchase. And it makes your decision way less emotional, so you can evaluate a channel with confidence. And that's the whole purpose, confidence. The audience fit matters a lot. The spreadsheet can't measure audience alignment, so you still need to ask, does the creator's audience match my buyer, my ideal reader? Is the creator trusted? Do they do ads in a way that converts? Are there comments in their videos that say, I tried this because of you? The sheet tells you if the math can work, but the audience fit tells you whether it's likely to work. And I'll just tell you, we picked a creator that we feel is a perfect fit. The math works. It does have to perform pretty well, but because it's such a strong fit, we feel pretty optimistic about it. So that's the tool. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be fast, practical, and customizable, especially if you're just getting started with sponsorships and you want a way to evaluate deals without paying for software or drowning in complexity. If you want to grab it and follow along while watching the video back again while I walk through the example, check out the tool for yourself using the link in the description. And if you use it and it helps you avoid a bad deal or confidently say yes to a good one, drop me a comment and tell me how it went. I would love to hear. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.